Okay, let's talk about something you almost definitely have in your kitchen right now. I mean, it's an ingredient so common we barely even think about it. But what if I told you it holds this ancient story, thousands of years old, that's now being backed up by some really surprising modern science?
I mean, think about it. From Italian pasta to Indian curries, garlic is kind of the flavor backbone of, well, everything. We use it for that savory punch, right? That amazing aromatic depth. It's a total workhorse in the kitchen, the humble hero of the pantry.
But what if all that incredible flavor is just the beginning of its story? What if that little bulb is also a secret medicinal powerhouse, just sitting there waiting for you to unlock it?
So, to really get this, we've got to look back in time a bit. We're going to head over to India, where for centuries, traditional medicine has seen garlic as way more than just food. They saw it as a key to a healthy heart. Yeah, in the Ayurvedic system of medicine, garlic isn't just a seasoning you toss in a pan. Nope. It's a respected remedy known specifically for its amazing effects on cardiovascular health. And look, this is not some new health fad you saw on social media. This is ancient, time-tested wisdom. So what exactly were these ancient practitioners seeing? Well, they noticed that people who regularly ate garlic seemed to have a better handle on some of the biggest factors in heart health. We're talking lower blood pressure, better cholesterol levels, and just an overall protection for the cardiovascular system, all thanks to its powerful antioxidants.
Okay, so that's all great in theory, right? But how did they actually do it? I mean, how do you turn a simple clove of garlic into actual medicine?
Well, they came up with these really simple, practical methods. For example, they'd combine crushed garlic with raw honey to make this potent morning tonic. Or they'd lightly cook it in ghee, that's clarified butter, which they believed helped the body soak up all its powerful compounds. And of course, they'd blend it into a delicious chutney to eat every day. Now, pay attention to that crush and wait thing, because we're definitely coming back to that. All right, now let's get into the why behind all of this. What's garlic's secret weapon? It's this super potent sulfur compound called allicin. This is the molecule that modern scientists believe is the source of so many of garlic's incredible health benefits.
But here's the thing, and this is the really cool part. Allicin doesn't just exist inside a garlic clove. You actually have to create it. And if you're not careful, you can destroy it just as fast.
Okay, so the most important point is this. If you just throw garlic into a hot pan right away, you're pretty much destroying its power. The secret, and this is what those ancient methods were hinting at, is to crush or chop it, and then, and this part is so important, you have to let it sit for about 10 minutes. That little waiting period is when all the magic happens. An enzyme and another compound mix together to create the maximum amount of that powerful allicin before it ever hits the heat.
This all sounds pretty incredible, doesn't it? But you know, it brings up a huge question. We have these powerful ancient beliefs on one side, but can we actually prove any of this in a modern lab? Can science actually measure what traditional wisdom has been saying for centuries? So let's do it. Let's go from that ancient kitchen right into the modern laboratory. It's time to see what happens when you put these old remedies under a microscope. So a research study set out to do exactly that. The goal was super simple. Test the germ-fighting power of 3 traditional remedies: honey, ginger, and garlic. And they didn't mess around. They tested them against real-world microbes, like bacteria and fungi taken right from patients with throat infections.
And the first results? They were impressive. On their own, every single one of these ingredients was effective. They all showed a real power to stop these nasty germs from growing. So, right off the bat, tradition was getting a huge check mark from science.
But the researchers, they didn't stop there. They decided to test those traditional combinations, They asked that all-important question. What happens when you put them together?
And this is where things get really, really cool. Because when they started mixing them, the results weren't just a little bit better. Something truly remarkable happened.
Okay, just look at this. You can see it plain as day. Honey by itself has a moderate effect. Garlic by itself, that's got a high effect, which is pretty good. But then, look at that third bar. That's honey and garlic together. The effect isn't just a little bit better, it's way, way more powerful than either one of them on their own. And the scientists themselves were crystal clear about this. Their conclusion, and I'm quoting directly from their study, was that the combination of honey plus garlic showed the highest inhibitory effect on all the test bacteria. I mean, this wasn't a small difference. It was the undisputed champion.
There's actually a scientific name for this. It's called a synergistic effect, and it's basically the idea that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. It equals like 3 or 4. These two ingredients work together to become way more powerful than they could ever be on their own.
All right, so let's bring all this science back home, back into our own kitchens. How can we take this incredible discovery and actually use it in our daily lives?
And this is what brings it all full circle. That ancient remedy, you know, the one with the crushed garlic and raw honey? It wasn't just a random guess or some old folklore. It turns out to be this incredibly smart way to create and use a scientifically backed power duo.
So to wrap it all up, here's your kitchen cheat sheet. Number 1, garlic's magic comes from that compound allicin. 2, to get the most allicin, you have to crush or chop your garlic and let it rest for 10 minutes. 3, try to avoid super high heat because that just kills the good stuff. And 4, for a real health-boosting knockout punch, pair it with some raw honey.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If there's this much hidden power in something as simple as garlic and honey, what other incredible secrets are just sitting there in our pantries waiting to be rediscovered?